All right, so today I am doing an interview with Lynette Evans from Glam Enterprises. She is one of DC's finest makeup artists. So if you're in the area, please look her up, and we will be giving you information on how to find her at the end of this video. Not only is Lynette one of the best makeup artists in the DC area, she also is family. And so while she was visiting her father here for his birthday, she decided to take some time out and do an interview with us. So we are very glad to have you here today. It's so good to see you. We don't get to see each other enough.
I know. Who's better to talk to than your own family, right?
I know, right? And just a side note, for a little while, my mother and I actually lived with you and your family.
Right.
And I just remember my first makeup tips and my first tips about fashion and everything came from you. And so this has been a lifelong journey for Lynette. She actually was playing with makeup and making up all of the cousins her whole entire life. So what a better career than to actually be able to make a living from what you love.
I'm so glad I finally got up the nerve to pursue it, because, you're always wondering if you're good enough to deal with other people. Your family and your friends, they love you anyway, so to have to deal with the public, it was hard, it was hard, but, you follow your passion and you get out there.
And so please tell everybody some of the projects that you've worked on that they might be familiar with.
Well, we just finished up DC Fashion Week in Washington, D.C., which is like the second largest one in the country next to New York. So it's growing, it's building. We have international designers from all over the world that come in and show with us. It runs for a whole week, just like New York. We had events every night. The next one is coming up in September, dcfashionweek.org. Check out the website. And designer Thomas Lavone out of New Jersey, I've worked with him on several occasions. Jonathan Martin, who's an amazing photographer out of Washington, D.C., who's been shooting forever with Black Hair Sophisticates, and who has helped to launch and build the careers of such greats as Derek Rutledge, who now does makeup for Oprah Winfrey, and Kim Lee, who's was the lead makeup artist for Sparkle, who did, Whitney's makeup, Sparkle, and Jump in the Broom. And so it's a lot of talent in D.C.
All right. And you're also in print magazines.
Black Hair Sophisticates. I've been in there twice, and I had a 17-page spread and a cover for Fashion Avenue News that's based out of New York, but they have distributions in Paris as well. So,
well, go girl. That's my cousin. That's my so one of the things that I wanted to ask is, what do you do to your skin prior to makeup? Do you want us to exfoliate or moisturize? What is it that we need to do to prep our skin?
Well, cleansing is always important. You always want to start with a clean face, and you want to moisturize, and you want to use a moisturizer that's compatible with your skin. If you have oily skin, people misconstrue the fact that if they have oily skin that they shouldn't use moisturizer, and you actually should, because when your skin starts to shine, that's your skin begging for moisture, and it exfoliates more oil, it secretes more oil.
Okay.
So you want to use maybe an oil-free moisturizer. You cleanse, use a toner that'll work for your skin. Alcohol can be a little harsh. I even use sea breeze, and I dilute it with water to use for a toner, and then you use a moisturizer that'll work for your skin. But you always want to cleanse and tone and moisturize before applying your makeup.
Okay. And so what does toner do for the skin? Because I always hear that, but it's a step that a lot of people skip. So what does toner do for skin?
Yeah, toner helps to cleanse off any of the residue that may be left over from the soaps or whatever, but it also helps with the pores and areas that may need a little more concentration that cleansing doesn't do. It helps with the pores and that kind of thing.
Okay. So what is your niche as far as makeup? Is it runway? Is it print ad? Is it video? What is your niche?
Well, I've been involved with a lot of fashion shows. I've been lead makeup artist for DC Fashion Week for several seasons. We just celebrated the 20th season, and we'll celebrate the 10th year anniversary in September. So I was out last year due to an injury, and I jumped back into it this year. But most of the work, I would have to say, has been fashion shows, but I do whatever. I do, weddings. I do photo shoots, and I love working with people who, on the most part, really don't wear makeup like that, because they're always nervous that somebody's going to overdo their makeup and they're going to look like, a drag queen or something like that. I don't do drag makeup. I do clean and pretty and fresh makeup. It looks real pretty and natural. But if you want the dramatic, I can give you that too.
I've seen a little bit of all, and I think that might be one reason I've always been nervous to go to a makeup artist, is because I feel like they'll make me look like something that I'm not, and something that I'm not comfortable with.
Right.
So I think that is you hit the nail on the head when you stated that.
Yeah, you want people to be comfortable with how they look when they leave your chair. And I've heard many complaints of people going to counters and getting their face done, and it was like awful experiences, and they felt like they had too much on their faces. Well, I'm like, understand, when you go to a counter, these people are salespeople too.
And then when you get it home, they don't know what to do with it.
Right.
They can't recreate the look that they had at the counter.
Absolutely. So I always tell people, it's almost worth it to hire a makeup artist to come into your home and help you do an evaluation on what would be good for you and your look. If you want to do several different looks, if you want to do a daytime look, if you want to do an evening look, or whatever, it's worth it to invest in that and have somebody teach you, as opposed to trying to sell you a lot of products that you may not even need or want to use.
Right. I know for me, it has to be very quick, easy, and natural for an everyday. Now, I can get dramatic at night. I like to dress up in my ball gowns and go out. And but for the most part, I am a mom who's running a company. I have 15 minutes max. And that could be some days hair and makeup to get out of the house.
Understood.
So,
Understood.
What are your tips specifically for video? Since my audience are looking for tips on what you need to do to enhance your look on video.
Well, with video, you have to make sure that you highlight in the right areas. You have to make sure that the makeup is well blended, because the camera picks up everything and it's unforgiving.
Especially in the world of high definition nowadays.
Absolutely, in high definition. So blending is the huge part of it, and making sure that the foundation works for you, as opposed to making you look so bright, and when the light shines on you, you look like a ghost.
Okay.
But you want to make sure that it's highlighted and contoured in the areas, in the T areas, which is where the light hits you naturally most of the time anyway.
Right.
That's the lighter area of your skin. So you want to make sure that, like I said, it's well blended, it's clean, you don't see any hard lines or creases. And you actually may want to look in the camera with the photographer before they actually start shooting to see what the camera picks up, because sometimes the camera will pick up stuff that the natural eye doesn't see.
Yeah. And then also with the lighting, you mentioned the lighting, sometimes it'll cast shadows and different things like that.
You want to make sure that your lighting is good. Natural light is always great if you can get it, but sometimes when you're in a studio with no windows or something, then you have to create your own natural lighting, and you consider, like, if you can find them, the pink and the yellow and the blue light bulbs, and put them all together, and that'll give you that essence of natural light.
Right.
But then other makeup artists that are well on their way, they normally have lighting to bring with them, just in case the facility doesn't offer it.
Right. So what I'm picking up from you is not only are you a makeup artist, but you have picked up on a lot of the tips and tricks of the industry, lighting, camera angles, and so on and so forth, just from, it started off with makeup, but you have learned a lot of the different areas in the industry.
Well, when you work with photographers and you work with other great makeup artists in the industry, and Keisha Hunt was one of my mentors who actually pulled me out to my first gig dealing with the public, you want to make sure that you're not above learning what other people can share with you. Makeup is an ever-learning process, because to me there's really no right or wrong way to do it. It's just a matter of, okay, well, I didn't think to try it that way. Let me try it that way and see if it works for me. So, and then, like I said, dealing with photographers. I have a roommate that's a photographer, and you can learn some tips from them with how they light and maybe what look they're looking for, and say, okay, well, can you try this, because this is what's happening when I look at the camera. So dealing with photographers and videographers and that and other makeup artists, you learn a lot, and hopefully you take it in and don't think you're above not learning.
That's right. That's right. So, what look do you like to do the most?
I would probably say maybe I like the natural look. I'm beginning to really perfect that. Smoky eye is always popular, especially for your after 5 and whatever. But I'm really perfecting the natural look, and I'm really beginning to really appreciate that.
Okay, and that's the look we're going to try to, not that we're going to try, but that's the look that we're going for today.
So we're going to do on you today.
And that's why I look so beautiful right now.
Absolutely. And now she'll look gorgeous. We're going to enhance the beauty she already has. That's my Theo.
And so what products, as a makeup artist, is there a particular brand that you usually lean towards, or should you always stay with the same brand because they work well together chemistry-wise, or give us some advice on that?
Well, no. I mean, you have the people that have their own, oh, I love this brand, but most of your makeup artists will have a kit that's very eclectic. It'll have a little bit of everything, because for us, one line may not have everything that we need in order to do what we do. So especially with the lines of high def and everything coming in now too, because you do have your high def makeup and then you have your regular makeup. So there's no one line that you are committed to. I love the Ben Eye powders. That's a staple, and that's mostly a staple in most makeup artists' kits. And Inglot is a really booming and up and coming line. You can order palettes the way you want them. If you just want a neutral palette, you can do that. If you want a neutral lip palette, you can do that. But I really, I expand. My kit is so eclectic. It's like I can't even commit to one thing. But I know I just don't go without my Ben Eye powders.
Okay. Now, I know one thing that I've always wanted were beautiful long eyelashes. And of course, my son got those. Actually, everybody in the family except me.
Well, you know what? Guys tend to end up, and we hate it because we end up going and pay money to get them. But guys always end up with these long lashes.
The most beautiful lashes.
They do. They do.
So I did try Latisse, and it does warn you that it can make your eyelid darker, and that's what happened to me. And when I first started using it, my eyelashes did thicken up. And then they did start to grow, but they didn't thicken and grow at the same time.
Right.
So while it does work for some people, because I've seen people with very good results, for me, it just really wasn't worth it to have my eyelids turning dark.
Understood.
So I do have false lashes, but I don't know how to put them on. And I think that's what stops a lot of people. So today, will you teach us how to apply false lashes, and give us some tips and tricks about that?
I can try to do that, but one of the best things to do is to get one of the mirrors that's like a 10-time magnifier, so you can get as close as possible. People tend to not trim the lashes, and you really should. One size does not fit all.
You mean I can't have cow eyes?
Well, I mean, you want the lashes to fit your eye. You don't need them way out here. If your eye is this small, you want them to fit so that they'll lift up the eye. The lashes should not be so they bring your eye down. Everything should always go up. But they have, if you don't want to do lashes, they have some great mascara products out now that have the extensions. They have the primers in the lashes that make the lashes look longer and extend out. So that's an option. You can, if you have the funds, you can invest in a lash extensionist where they'll last for months at a time. I'm not a big fan of going to the nail salon to get lashes done. They tend to put them on a little too tight for my taste. But
when they come off, they literally pull your own eyelash off.
They really
as well.
pull your own lashes off, right? So you have to be very mindful of what they put on your lashes, because just like with your brows, when you keep plucking and plucking, the hair doesn't grow back. And that happens the same with your lashes. If the lashes come out with you keep plucking them and losing them like that, they won't grow back.
So is there a particular type of adhesive we should use or stay away from?
Well, I tend to not use the dark, the black duo or any of the black mascara, because when you shoot, it tends to reflect. It's kind of shiny, so it gives that reflect. I really like the Revlon in the little tube now. It has a little brush that you can apply to the lashes, much neater, and that works for me. Those seem to work real good. They're a lot cleaner. You don't end up with glue all over your hands or too much glue on the lashes or whatever.
So you can show us how to apply them neatly, quickly, in and out.
Yep.
Okay. All right. It takes a little practice?
Oh, yeah. Just like anything else, it takes some practice. And if you have tweezers, now I can do it with my hands because I'm getting better at it. But if you have tweezers, that's probably one of the best options when you're learning how to do it. But they also have the other little contraptions where you can hold the lashes in and place it on. So, get in the mirror and practice, and if you use the clear glue, then you won't be so frustrated when you see these little black lines if you try to use the black mascara, the black glue adhesive, because it'll go all over the place.
So how long should you leave your lashes on if you're using a one strip lash?
Well, those are to be removed at night, but if you can get away, I've had people say, I slept on my face like this so I didn't have to change my makeup and all this stuff. So if you don't sleep on your face, you can usually get, as long as the glue doesn't irritate you or there's no allergy to it, then you can leave them on for another day. But when I wear them, which isn't often, I tend to take them off at night.
Okay. Now, as a makeup artist, I just heard you say something that we've always been warned against, and that's sleeping in makeup. What is your thought process on sleeping in makeup?
I wouldn't recommend it, especially not, on a consistent basis. But if you don't have any breakouts on your face and you're trying to save your face because you're doing something else the next day and you can't afford to have that makeup artist come in and do your face again, one night could be okay. But that's not something I would recommend on a consistent basis, especially if you have sensitive skin.
Yeah. Well, that's something I don't have to worry about because I work out every morning, so I'd look like a monster at the end of every workout session.
You don't need makeup on the workout. Go to the gym without your makeup, ladies. Do the brows and the lips and call it a day.
Oh, I don't even do that. I go in scary.
Oh, you got great brows, so you don't need to.
I go in scary mode. I'm ready to work out. I'm not there to impress. All right, so we are going to start my makeup process in a moment, but can you give some tips and tricks on how to keep your face looking fresh all day long, how to control the oil, put on lips?
Well, one of the things I want to put out, if you use an eye primer, which I like, I prefer a cream over a liquid, and the eye primer will usually keep your eyes from creasing. It'll balance out the unevenness in the tone. So if your eyes are darker down here and lighter up here, you use a primer, it'll even that out so your eye makeup application will go on a lot smoother. And it'll also keep your makeup all day. Most of my days start at 5:30 in the morning and my makeup is on at 6 and I may not get home until 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And the eye makeup still looks fresh. So you want to be able to do that. And use a translucent powder that will work collaboratively with your skin without it caking on and oiling on. They have the blot sheets with the foundation in it. So, or even if you in a crunch and you in the bathroom and they got the toilet seat covers, same material.
Yeah.
Blot your face with the toilet seat covers. Those work just as well.
You know what I realized the other day? Do you remember the little sheets that you used to put on the end of your hair before you roll it up?
Yes.
Those are the same things that
Same
you
thing.
It's the same material.
Same thing. So, yep, you can use those. You don't have to, unless you get the ones that have a little bit of foundation or you really don't need them. You can just use them to soak up the oil and brush it out.
What I found, I really do like the ones with the powder on them, but what I found is in the summer, if I was sweaty, the powder would kind of bunch up and I looked in the mirror one day, I was like, what is that? The powder had splotchy, unevenly taken off the sweat and the oil. So in the summertime especially, I like the ones without the powder, but I do like the ones with the powder if I'm going to be in a mirror where I can kind of smooth out a little bit more.
Right. And one of the other good things now that's come on the market are the BB creams. And if you have good skin, you really don't need, and you don't really need a heavy foundation and it's sweating and everything, throw on a BB cream, a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of lip gloss, and you are good.
Yeah, I've been really looking at those, and I think I'm going to try those this summer because I don't like a heavy foundation. When I was younger, I would just use powder. Powder, some eyeliner, lipstick, and go.
Right. But, and I ride a motorcycle, so, of course, I don't want to put all this foundation on my face. So a BB cream or the CC creams, they're pretty pigmented. You know, shop around, find one that's good for you, and stick with that. That way you can avoid all the heavy foundation, and set your makeup with powder if you can, because that'll help it. That'll give the evenness, and it'll keep it from going all over the place.
You know, you learn something new about someone every day. I didn't know she rode a bike.
Yeah, I ride a motorcycle. My father's trying to get me to sell it.
I've always wanted to ride a bike, but we know my past. We know my my history with injuries. So
I just got over knee surgery, and from falling down the stairs, so I understand. But I'm still ready. I didn't get to ride it at all last year, and
so
I'm
you're
just
ready.
like, oh, I want to ride my motorcycle.
So if you're on the streets of DC, watch out.
Watch out for red bone and me right there.
All right, well, I think we're ready to get started. We're going to do a natural look today, so stay tuned.
Absolutely.